Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get to this thing called life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that what I just said sounds very familiar to you. Where did it come from? The smash hit movie Purple Rain, starring Prince. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am somewhat sad that I have to bring to your attention that Prince didn't write the top-selling platinum album Purple Rain soundtrack. I wrote it. And what I want to go over is what and how I made it magnetic for Prince. I'm going to share with you how I gave it emotional appeal, what were the names of all the original songs that Prince had called these songs, and how I had to take a break out of my busy schedule to write that album. First of all, I'm going to share this with you. Purple Rain, it actually wasn't called that when Prince had brought it to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a seat, buckle up as I take you for a ride to how, when, and where, and what, and all the action that was taken to make Purple Rain a smash-selling album along with the movies. To answer that question, the song that Prince had came in with, okay. Now I know on the first I know on the soundtrack that has been released to you as, you know, a fan, was Let's Go Crazy. Okay, that was not the name of the song that Prince originally had for that particular musical composition. Now, I told you to sit down and buckle up. Okay, because I'm about to tell you the name of the song that he actually came in with. Because I was like with Prince, I said, okay, you know, why are you asking me to write this for you? I mean, you did really well with 1999 double platinum album. But he had told me what it was. The song on 1999 album, Little Red Corvette. Okay, once again, I wrote that. He had called it Big Red Truck, and I'm like, Prince, no one is going to buy that. I said, you got to make it appealing, sexual appealing about a woman. But anyway, we're going to get back to the original question. What was the name of the song before it was called by me, Let's Go Crazy? Okay, the name of that particular song was called Let's Get Drunk. I'm like, Prince, look, okay, we got to have a target audience in order to make this. This is your first film, okay? We have to make it magnetic, emotional appeal, target audience, okay? Now, to say let's get drunk, that would, once again, it would only capture a small amount of listeners, okay? Now, if they're getting drunk, they're going to only hear a certain amount of the song. Once they become intoxicated and impaired, they're not going to hear anything. So how would they even hear that this is the first song that's going to be on a movie composition? I said, so let's use the song, the title, Let's Go Crazy. And I had to explain to Prince, I said, the reason why we want to use Let's Go Crazy is because, number one, we are appealing to society. Even the ones that are locked up in mental institutions, they hear that word, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go crazy and everything, yeah, let me out of here. And they're gonna come and go see the movie. Okay, then you have the ones that want to get crazy and have a good time, got the college students, you know, and then they can go to the bar, they can still get intoxicated, and they can still see the upcoming promotional footages of Purple Rain. Okay, once again, we will get to what was the name of the title of the movie that Prince had came to me about. But I'm going to keep it in a structured format answering all the questions, all the tidbits, all the hidden secrets that you didn't know anything about. How I made Purple Rain a smashing successful Prince. I don't even talk to you about how much he was supposed to pay me. But I ain't gonna get into that part right now. But anyway, check out. Okay, like I said, that was the first name of the original song that Prince came in with. It was not called Let's Go Crazy. It was called Let's Get Drunk. Okay, so that's cut. Answered that question. So tune in for the second one. Don't you go nowhere. You can go to the refrigerator, get you some snacks. You can go wherever store you need to. Don't forget to use your gift card. And tune in while I explain to you what is the name of the second original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. Don't you go anywhere. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the next discussion on what was the second original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. And I'm going to answer that for you right now. Once again, Prince had stopped by. I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, I kind of knew something was a little weird about him because he had made this song called Horny Toad. And I'm like, okay, he's singing about frogs. I'm like, hey, maybe Warner Bros. Was pressuring him, you know, meet the deadline. Okay. I mean, I like the song, but I was like, he's singing about frogs. Well, here we go. So when he came in, I'm like, hey, you know what? What's going on, Prince? You know, you all right, man, and everything? And he's like, well, not really. I thought of the second song. He said he liked that, you know, I had put together the musical composition and also the lyrics to Let's Go Crazy. And he came back, he said, you know, I was inspired to, you know, put together a second song with the title. I said, okay, well, let me hear it. And the name of the second original song, the Purple Rain soundtrack, is called I Ain't Taking You Nowhere Because You Know I Like Your Sister. I'm like, whoa, Prince, that's a little too, that's too personal. Because if you watch the movie, remember when he had did that song, Computer Blue, and he went off stage with one song, and the barman was like, hey, what's this one song stuff? He said, hey, look, man, keep that personal stuff off the stage. So I'm saying, this showing this right here, you know. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, you know, once again, I said, you want to appeal to your audience, especially the women. You know, you want that magnetic, unforgettable, Cinderella type feeling to leave on them, because 9 times out of 10, they're the ones that not will only buy your album, they'll come to all the concerts. We can use the warm marketing techniques that I've learned from going to many multi-level marketing seminars. She could tell her family, her friends, all of the women in the family will come see the Purple Rain movie. They will go to all the concerts. We can open up merchandise and licensings, and we can make a ton of cash. I said, so this is the title that I came up with. I told Prince, name the song Take Me With You. And as you see in the movie, I had to, you know, find Apollonia, and we sat down and we talked and everything and wrote it. I laid out the music. That's all me singing. Prince is just lip singing. You know what I mean? Because he had a hoarse voice, you know what I'm saying? And it's a long story, but like I said before, if it wasn't for me, Prince wouldn't have a successful movie under his belt in the soundtrack. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I like Prince a lot. You know, I mean, what guy can play all those instruments and walk around looking normal? You know, but again, Warner Bros. Was really, really getting on him. You know what I mean? The pressure was mounting. So, you know, he came by and I'm like, you know, hey, Prince, everything all right? And he was kind of, you know, with all his candles lit and stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not happy. I'm like, well, the second song, oh, wow, ain't taking you nowhere because you know I like your sister. And I'm like, Prince, that's not going to work. Okay. And as you see, most of the time, I mean, when you put on the song Take Me With You, ladies, how does it make you feel? Versus, I ain't taking you nowhere because you know I like your sister. How would that make you feel? We already know the answer. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to always keep my promise. I'm always going to keep my word, and we're going to go to the third original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. And as Arsenio says, let's get busy. Hello, and thank you for still tuning in, because I see that just by you watching this video footage this far, you are probably somewhat puzzled, perplexed, shocked, saddened, angry, or even happy that you are learning the truth about who wrote the Purple Rain soundtrack. For Prince Roger Nelson from Minneapolis. I did it. Now, I'm going to always answer the question, and the third one is, what was the original name of the song for the Purple Rain soundtrack? Okay, once again, Prince had came in, and we were getting along pretty well, you know, as usual. He's a nice guy to actually, you know, work with. It's just, like I said, don't know what was going on. So I'm like, hey, Prince, okay, we already knocked out. Let's go crazy. We already took care of Take Me With You. So, you know, at this point, we're already, you know, working on the third song. So I'm like, okay, hey, let's hear what you got. Bam, he comes out with, damn, that girl sure is ugly as hell. I'm like, man, come on, Prince, look, do me a favor. We're going to make this a success. I'm going to need for you to leave your personal problems at the Purple Mansion, okay? Can't bring them here, okay? Can't bring it here. This is violent, you know. Purple Rain, I mean, he had his moments when he threw tantrums and stuff, and his parents were fighting, you know what I mean? But the soundtrack, you know, again, it has to be about the ladies, okay? So, I'm like, wow. Damn, that girl sure is ugly as hell. I'm like, no, Prince, what we're going to do, okay? I said, well, can you think of something else to call the song? And I can't even repeat the title. So, he was like, well, what do you suggest? I said, well, let's name the musical composition The Beautiful Ones. Because when you listen to the song, I'm like, Prince, again, women, from the time that they have experienced their first Christmas holiday up until they become a grown woman, okay, all women want to be swept off their feet by a knight in shining armor and be married. You know, that's why if you listen to the musical composition of The Beautiful Ones, when he asks Apollonia, if I told you if I was in love with you, if we get married, would that be cool? See, I told Prince to put that in there because, you know, like I said, this part here about, damn, that girl sure is ugly as hell. You know, come on now. And who was going to want to say, oh, I can't wait to hear Prince perform that song. Oh, it gets me so hot and bothered. You know, women are emotional. You know, us as men, we're logical. Women are emotional. I mean, they're beautiful, they smell good, they look good. Most of the time, they're smarter than us. They feel things more than we do. So I'm just like, Prince, that's not, once again, it's not going to work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm looking at this guy like, okay, this is the same guy that wrote Soft and Wet. This is the same guy that plays 27 instruments. This is the same guy that wrote I Want to Be Your Lover. This is the same guy that wrote Uptown. This is the same guy that wrote Controversy. This is the same guy that wrote all these songs, you know, like I said. But this is right around the time, you know, he came out with the song Irresistible Bitch, you know, and I was just like, okay. Once again, I kind of saw it kind of coming because I'm like, why? Custom calling women those kind of names and stuff like that. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe he was dating somebody, girl was acting up on him, really pissed him off. I don't know. So this one here, like, damn, that girl is sure as ugly as hell. I'm like, no, Prince, look. Now, so this is how I end up writing the whole album. This is how I end up performing, you know, the whole album. Because he was getting so upset and everything. As you see him Purple Rain when he came in there and throwing stuff around. And owner of the club was like, hey, cut it out. He's like, mind your business, you don't understand. He's like, see, you're just like your father. He's like, lay off that. You know, I went through these changes with Prince when we was, you know, putting the album together. So that's how I ended up writing the whole album, doing all the music. And I just like, Prince, just go on and lip sing. You know, we take care of it. You know, tell Morris Day and Time, Sheila E., you know, and Apollonia and all them to come on over. You know, we get some food and stuff we eat and I'll take care of everything. So I end up doing everything because Prince was stressed out. You know what I mean? Yeah, writer's block and he was going crazy. And I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa. It's going to be all right. So once again, always going to keep my word. Tune in to find out exactly the fourth song, the original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. But before I go and tell you all these answers, I'm going to have to share with you a word from our sponsor. If you're ever tired and thirsty from jogging, working out, or running away from people you're trying to avoid because you might owe them some money, always drink Minute Maid Premium Grape Punch. They got it on sale. You can go to Walmart, use your Walmart card so you can get that special discount off of this drink. Drink again, always drink for now. And now, back to our story. It's me again. That's right. The one that wrote the album to make the movie a smash hit where they are celebrating a 30-year anniversary for the movie and the soundtrack, Purple Rain. And now we are on the fourth song. As you all know, the fourth song is called Computer View on the music composition soundtrack, Purple Rain. What was the original title that Prince had named that particular song? It was called I Want to Steal a Computer. I'm like, Prince, man, look. You told me you took out your little purple little tablet and I asked you, I said, what is your mission? What are your core values? And what are your goals? You said your mission was to become an international superstar. I said, okay. You explained to me that your core value was to always give your customers more for their money, better than your competitors. We're talking, at that time, you opened up for Rolling Stones. You even opened up for Rick James. You told me you wanted to outsell all of them. And also, your goal was to be like no other. Okay, now, I said, well, Prince, if that's what you are out to achieve, that song there, I Want to Steal a Computer, no one is going to want to be around you. You know, they figure if they come to your concert, the car might get broken into. You might have some people, you know, your roadies doing them in as soon as they turn them back and coming to see your concert. I said, so you don't want to go there. You don't want to do that. And at that time, computers were not available to the public because, of course, this was 1994. And computers weren't heard of. iPhones were not heard of. Emails were not heard of. The internet, World Wide Web, any of that was not available to the public. So this is 1983, actually. I got a little ahead of myself. So, again, I had to take and get him to understand that, look, I know that you want to, you know, he has a hard time staying still. You know what I mean? He's just bounced off the wall. He has a lot of energy, you know, which is cool, you know, if you want to take and put it into a musical thing. And I'm just like, you know, he was so focused all the way up until his 1999 success when he became a mainstream success. You know, MTV was playing his videos and everything like that. I think only him, Michael Jackson, and maybe a few other ones were on MTV with heavy rotation. So I'm just like, okay, well, look here. What I'm going to do is we're going to name that song Computer Blue. You know, I asked him, I said, you know, somebody in your love life. And at that time, him and Vanity were having, like, problems. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, well, how do you feel right now? So even though I wrote it and did the music, I did ask for a lot of his input on how was he feeling at that moment. That's why you notice when he says, where's my love life? Where can it be? Till I find the righteous one, Computer Blue. You know, we were starting to kind of see eye to eye, you know, and was able to more work as a team. He's a team player, you know, but like I said before, I guess Warner Bros. Was really putting a lot of pressure on him. And so sometimes he would just come in and be like, all right, you know, let me hear what you got to say. You know, I understand he was in his room, had his little candles lit and everything. It was cool, but he had a writer's block. See, that's where I came in at, to make everything happen. So, Computer Blue, we went from Want to Steal a Computer to Computer Blue. I'm not going to read any of the lyrics to it because of the fact they're really not that cool. You will look at Prince in a different eye if I read them to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you taking out of your time out of your busy schedule to learn the raw, uncut truth behind the music, the making, and the creating of the Purple Rain soundtrack. See, now I was quiet for a long time, but see, it's what it was. Punch was not giving me my props. You know what I mean? You come and get the award at all of the music award places and everything. He give his shout outs to everybody. And, he never mentioned me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't forgot. I'm going to tell you about the situation concerning the Rain, the Cheddar, the Benjamins, as P. Diddy said. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. But ladies and gentlemen, stick around. Like I said, if you want to go get you some snacks, go get it. Come on back, because I'm giving up all the dirt on what really went down, on the writing, the producing, the arranging, the composing, and the financing of the Purple Rain soundtrack that I wrote that Prince didn't even wrote. Better recognize. Hey. As Fat Arbor say, but check this out. I'm going to come back and let you know, like I told you, what is the fifth song, the original one, of the Purple Rain soundtrack. Okay, here it is. As you know, the fifth song off the Purple Rain soundtrack album was called Darling Nikki. Okay, of course, I named it. I wrote the lyrics. Now, here go the title that Prince had came in with that day. It's called Can I Spank You? And I'm like, okay, Prince, how does this collectively go into your mission, your core values, and your goals that you explained to me? Of course, he didn't like that I asked him that. But once again, in order to make him an international superstar, I had to constantly keep going back that this must be a magnetic album. Emotional appeal. Okay. We also have to make sure that the hassle map. I say, well, Prince, you need to look at your competitors. Okay, who is selling more albums than you? You have to look at some of the things that their fans complain about. You want to take all of that out and make it as hassle-free as possible when they first need to see your musical video, so that they will know that you are, number one, coming out with a movie, and this is one of the first release of the album of the soundtrack for the particular movie. I made a mistake earlier that Let's Go Crazy was the first composition. Actually, it wasn't. It was When Dove Cried. And of course, stick around so I could tell you the title he had called the name of that song. See, this almost did not happen. If it wasn't for me, Prince would not be known as an international superstar. We would still know him because I grew up listening to him, but he wouldn't be an international superstar. But getting back to the fifth song, Darling Nikki, and the title he had, Can I Spank You? Okay, I'm like, Prince, see, you're going to have a lot of problems getting women to continue to open up their purses, okay, that credit card, checkbook, okay, to buy your album and your merchandise, okay. He gave me a runaround on it, and I'm like, look, now if you listen to the lyrics, I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess you could say, I'm not going to go into that because, kids might be listening, but you know what is on that particular song, okay? So, when we got finished with that, okay, it was great because we had already completed one side of the album, okay? So, he agreed to it. And that's how that song came to be. He was talking about S&Ms, and I'm like, no, 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 no. You know, you can discuss what you wanted from her, what she did, how it made you feel, and how it made her feel. And as you see in the movie, when he's singing it to her, she got mad and ran out, and Morris Day wanted to jump on. See, I set all that up. See, he was still on, wanting to spank her with shoes and stuff and handcuff her and hold her hostage. And I'm like, man, this is not gonna work. Like I said, I want you all to understand, Purple Rain almost did not happen if it wasn't for yours truly, me. So, as I always tell you before, I'm always tell you again, stick around. As the late Don Cornelius said, peace and soul. Tune in to listen to the next one. Can you dig? As Martin Lawrence would say on his hit TV show, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah. So, we're on what is the 6th original song on the Purple Rain soundtrack. And as we all know, When Doves Cry, okay, that was the first song that was released, promoted by Warner Brothers, MTV, all the major radio stations across the country released this particular song. Again, I named that song, wrote the lyrics, performed everything. Now, I'm going to tell you the title that Prince had. It was called, I'm going to kick that dog in his biscuits. I'm like, Prince, once again, in order to become magnetic, okay, dealing with your fans, converting them into repeated customers, you must be magnetic. You must have a hassle map, because you have to take all the things out that all of your competitors, okay, have that their fans complain about. You also got to have a behind the scene, which they call a backstory, on how everything took place to make it what it is. This is what I'm sharing with you all. The backstory on how Purple Rain, the movie and the soundtrack, almost didn't happen. I explained to Prince that he also has to have, they call it trajectory, meaning that you have to make your product better than it was before. As we know, the double platinum album, 1999, very well. AUT-O-Matic, Little Red Corvette, a song that I told you I wrote. Lady Cab Driver, Free, of course, the major hit, 1999. I said, so we have to write and perform, arrange and produce, taking it up to a higher level, because we must attract all different types of sponsors that you didn't have before you became an international star. We always have to show them that dealing with us will bring bigger checks, bigger bankrolls. So, writing this particular song, When the Doves Cry, because he had called it, I'm going to kick that dog in his biscuits. And what I mean by that, if you listen to a powerful hip-hop group that came on in the 1990s called Digital Underground with their hit song, Do the Humpty Dance, he explains about what that really means. And I'm not going to say what it means on here, because once again, kids may be listening, and I always try to make sure that when I'm on YouTube that I am listener friendly. Okay, so Prince, of course, if you listen to the song When Doves Cry, you notice how it almost sounds somewhat when you go to Hallmark and you open up one of their cards to give to your girlfriend for Sweetie's Day or Valentine's Day, or just because. If you notice, it's talking about doing things that adults do, but in a way leaving room for the imagination to sell the sizzle, to make women want to go out and spend money. That's what the songs are always about. And Prince didn't understand that right away. So once again, I had to write it in a way where he is still popular today. Because prior to Purple Rain, no one knew about him as far as mainstream international. I knew about him, you know what I mean? He definitely was on all the black radio stations. But I had ended up learning that he wasn't mainstream at that point. And so I, made sure I get him to understand that. So what we are going to do is we're going to reveal the original 7th song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. So stick around, and you've made it this far, so there's no sense in unbuckling your seatbelt and walking away, because I have plenty more to say. And I haven't forgot about the part about he owed me some money. But I'll go into that when we close. So in the meantime, stick around. I'm going to reveal more to you. Y'all know what time it is. As always, we are on the 7th original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. Okay, as you all know, I Will Die For You. Of course, I wrote it, performed it, named it. I gotta share with you the name that Prince had called the musical composition to become a major superstar, international. Here it is. It's called Oh Hell No, I Ain't Dying For Nobody. But I ended up finding out why Prince was behaving like this. He would come in with his Walkman on, right? And because those were real popular at the time. And I asked him what was he listening to. He was listening to Richard Pryor, Red Fox. So you all can see why Purple Rain almost didn't happen, because we all know how Richard Pryor talked. We all know how Red Fox talked. Rest in peace to both of them. So I'm like, look, Prince, you have to appeal to them. I'm like, how could you not know this? You wrote the song International Lover. How could you not know this? You have to have a trigger. You have to be able to spark an emotional feeling in your fans, your listeners, and your future viewers. So this particular song, I say, you have to be able to capture them. Well, you have to be able to, you gotta monitor, okay, what your competitors are doing so that you can do it better. You have to capture what your competitors are doing and do it better. You have to analyze what your competitors are doing and do it better. And you have to report it in your journal, your goal books, your staff, the engineer, and myself, so that we'll know exactly how to respond in the most common, fast-moving, fast-thinking fashion to achieve international stardom. So, of course, when you listen to the musical composition, you will hear the title and what I wrote and how I performed, because he just wasn't getting it. You know what I mean? It's sad because I wouldn't be going there with you, Prince, if you didn't give me my props, you kind of messed me over on the money part and everything. I gotta tell that part too. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't you go nowhere. Stick around, because I'm about to reveal the 8th original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. Don't you go anywhere. Now, before I reveal the 8th original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack, I want you to understand that even though working with Prince was very extraordinary, would I work with him again? Of course I would. But let me get to what I promised you. As we know, the 8th song on the multi-platinum selling Purple Rain soundtrack album that was distributed and manufactured by Warner Brothers, the song Baby I'm a Star. Now, this is where I was getting Prince to understand that it is best to stick with that title and the lyrics. Now, if you listen to the lyrics that I wrote for him and the title and the music, what does it say? Hey, look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see? Hey, I ain't got no money, but honey, I'm rich on personality. Okay, I'm going to go on and share with you what he originally named that particular musical composition. If I catch you talking to another guy, you getting punched in the eye. See, what it was again, Prince has a little pink little tablet. No, pink, sorry. I meant purple tablet, right? And, we took a break from recording the song and everything. And I asked him, I said, Prince, what you got in your bag, man? He said, I got some books. And I was like, for real, what kind of books you got in there? Guess what he had in there? Pimp by the late Iceberg Slim. He had all of Donald Goines books. The late Donald Goines book. So y'all already know what those types of books are about. You know what I mean? Pimping, gorilla pimping, chili pimp, being violent, you know what I mean? So that's where a lot of this came from. And I was kind of shocked because, I've listened to Prince ever since 1978, and Soft and Wet. And I'm like, I didn't think he was a wuss, or a smuck or a wimp, but I didn't expect for him to be reading those types of books, So I was like, no, man, let's go with Baby, I'm a Star. Because you said you want to be an international superstar. And if you listen, I'm getting the international crowd prepared, as I say, marinate for Prince to be welcome and accepted, international. You might not know it now, but baby, I'm a star. You know what I mean? So we scratched that, if I catch you if I catch you talking to another guy, you're getting punched in the eye. So that's when Prince went on and said, you know what, we've made it this far, and we had already took, each song, and, the A&R directors of Warner Brothers had to listen and approve each song because they had to put the money up for it. So we went on and decided to stick with Baby I'm a Star and the lyrics and the music. And once again, I did everything, like I said, we're getting closer and closer to the last song of how this particular album got the name and also how the movie became to be and how the movie and the soundtrack is a united package. One cannot do without the other. So stick around. I'm going to reveal it to you because we're almost getting close to the final countdown of Prince didn't write Purple Rain. I wrote it. All right, here it is. We are at the final 9th original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for your time and dedication to come from the beginning of this footage all the way up to the final moments of the 9th original song of the Purple Rain soundtrack for Prince Roger Nelson. Now, Purple Rain is a very, very sentimental, touching, musical composition that I took the time out of my busy schedule, dog walking, writing books, talking to ladies, doing a little homework, writing poetry, painting, scuba diving, surfing, to help Prince out. See? Now, here's the name of the song that Prince had came in with. Are y'all ready? I hope so. The name of the song would have been I'm About to Snort Some Cocaine. See? So, as you can see, I named the song Purple Rain. I did the music and I wrote the lyrics. Why? Because I wanted to keep my promise to Prince, because Prince was one of my clients. And one thing about when you have clients, you always want to introduce their product, their service to the 10 essential elements of psychological marketing, impact selling. As I said earlier, it's always important to make sure that you make your client's product and service magnetic. You always want to make sure that whatever hassle map that they have, that you look at their competitors and take all of that out. Okay. For instance, if you look at the Purple Rain album, does it look like anybody's album? No. When you take it out of the jacket, does it look like anybody's jacket? No. When you have the actual vinyl album in your hand, does it look like anybody's record? No. Was anybody writing the name, the lyrics on there, and a free poster? And who else was on a motorcycle like that? Nobody. I did all that. See? Because Prince is still one of my clients. Now, if it was not for me naming that song, performing the music, producing it, composing it, promoting it, and putting the right people on Prince Roger Nelson's PR team, he would not be an international superstar today. Because again, look at the name of what he would have named it. I'm about to snort some cocaine. No one wouldn't have seen a movie like that. Even crackheads wouldn't have put down their pipe to go inside the theater to watch it. Why? Because they wasn't smoking or snorting cocaine with Prince. So it wouldn't have happened. So ladies and gentlemen, also, he redid the song with Beyonce, right? 2004 to release Musicology. And see, this is where, I got a issue with Prince, because he still didn't mention me. Period. I ain't heard nothing. Beyonce ain't called me. She ain't emailed me. Nothing. You know what I mean? And this is what I get. And like I said, about him paying me the money. Okay, this is how much I agreed to do it, because I was only 13, when I wrote Purple Rain for Prince. You know what I mean? At that time, I was like, you're supposed to give me, the McDonald's gift cards. It was a gift certificate. He was supposed to give me $100, and $500 worth of McDonald's gift certificate. He only gave me $50, and I think, let me see, we went to McDonald's, but let me see, how much did he give me for that? He didn't give me like $20 of the gift certificate. You know what I mean? But see, I'm grown now. You know what I mean? And I want my money, Prince. But you know what? It's all right. See, it's out in the open now, man. But late. Now, I know that you came back to Warner Brothers and you got your master rights back. So, if you want to go in and give me a cut of them publishing rights, because if it wasn't for me, man, you wouldn't be who you are today. So give me a call. I'm not upset with you, man. No disappointed. But I ain't upset with you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Because now you've heard the truth from the horse's mouth on who really wrote Purple Rain and who didn't. Okay. So I'm going to go on and close it on now. And if you got any questions or some comments, post them. Love to hear from you, and I will respond. So, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Let's go crazy. Remember, don't drink and drive. And thank you, Minute Maid, for sponsoring this particular footage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. And as Arsenio Hall say, let's get busy. I'm out.